Akshay Patra is a pod full of unlimited food. Akshay Patra is also an organization that provides free meals to kids. It's bridging a gap between education and hunger. They're providing 2 million meals per day to the children back in India, and they are celebrating about 3 billion meals they have provided till date. Today, we are at a fundraiser gala. Here, the celebrities and supporters from everywhere are here. So let's take a highlight of the event. So we have Chairman of USA Akshay Patra, Mr. Deshpande. So let's talk to him about Akshay Patra more in detail here. About this organization, the history about it actually. That's what most people want to know.
Right. As you know, a lot of the children in India come hungry to school.
Yes.
And on an empty stomach, it's
Yes.
very hard to learn anything. And so this organization said, let's see if we can beat this problem. And really created this solution with advanced engineering, supply chain, procurement, accounting, all the good stuff that everybody uses in Bay Area to solve a lot of problems.
Yes.
And they built these kitchens where it's all local cuisine, local produce, so it's food that children really love. And they can do it all for 20 cents. So $40 feeds a child for the whole year. And we serve only government schools, and the government gives us the $20 that are spent otherwise. And so we raise the other $20 from all the well-wishers, including people in Bay Area. And today, we're at 1.8 million meals every day. And very proud that just a couple of months ago, we served our 3 billionth meal.
Yeah, that's a big thing in itself here. And this organization have come a long way, it's like a relatively new organization, So its growth is pretty enormous, So tell us how can residents of Bay Area can help further it.
Well, I think I'm sort of really excited about how the two things are coming together. Everything that people do in Bay Area, they are in startups, they're in companies, which is hugely competitive. So if they blink, they lose the game, right?
That's true.
And as a result of that, there's execution excellence in everything they do because they have to compete all the time. And so the execution excellence of what people do in Bay Area, but sometimes, in that mad race, people lose their compassion.
That's
About the environment, about the people that we live with, and people who don't have the opportunities and so on. Whereas organizations like Akshay Patra have a huge amount of compassion, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and making these meals for 1.8 million people requires a lot of compassion. So I think the big opportunity for all of us is to really combine the execution excellence of all these startups with the compassion of organizations like Akshay Patra. So we need people in Bay Area to really contribute to this organization, their excellence in execution, but also the resources that we need to really build. Because none of these companies ever get built without a good balance sheet. And we need a good balance sheet. And so if we can have these people join us and just change this whole way that we look after the people who are not a part of this Silicon Valley game, I think it's a real game changer.
very well said here. Anything else you would like to say to all the people out there?
Well, very excited about all this support that you guys have been giving us. It's taken last 10, 15 years to slowly build. And I think it's a gradual build of this support that we have. And we really appreciate what all of you are doing. And I hope we can all join hands and really solve the problems that are so hard to solve.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we have Shri with us. He's one of the board members of US Akshay Patra. So let's talk to him about Akshay Patra. Welcome, Shri.
Thank you.
So tell us more about Akshay Patra, the work that needs to be done, what you think about that.
Yeah, as Desh mentioned, we feed 1.8 million children every day in India. But, when you think about what still remains to be done, there are probably somewhere in the range of 100 million children who go to school and don't get a good meal. So the scale of what still remains to be done is enormous. So one of the things that I want to make sure that everyone understands is while Akshay Patra has come a long way and is doing enormous work and doing great work, at the end of the day, I want people to understand that there's still a lot to be done.
Vanna here today. She is CEO of US Akshay Patra. So let's talk to her about Akshay Patra. Welcome, Vandana.
Thank you.
So tell us about the functioning, what do you do, what we all do with this organization to enhance its functioning in US?
Sure. So Akshay Patra USA Foundation is primarily focused on sending money to India to meet the costs for what we do in India, which is to feed a child. And we feed 1.7 million children, so there is a lot of fundraising we need to do.
Yeah.
Cost around $20 to feed a child for the whole year. And we are a team of 9 people in the US, plus me, and we conduct about 40 events throughout the year. That's what we're doing this year in 2019. And everything from grassroots to having booths at places, going and talking at other people's events, presenting what Akshay Patra does, showing videos, TV ads, radio, newspaper, and having all kinds of events, exclusive events to mass productions. We do all of those, and we raise only 10% of what India needs. The rest is raised in India. But we are growing well, and this year I think we'll be 35% over last year.
And I just noticed like $20 can provide a child for a whole year, which is very reasonable amount. We all can kind of extend that kind of generosity. So anything you would want to tell to the viewers, to come up and open their purses?
Absolutely. So tonight we are having Anupam Kher here tonight, and he is very supportive of the cause. He was there when he went to Bangalore when the first kitchen was there at that time. And so he has, he comes from a lower middle class family, and he knows what hunger is. But they were all very happy. And so what his message is that, these children are given the food in the dignity of being in a class and having meals provided in their proper environment. And that's what's required, that you should not give out of guilt or fear. You should give because you want to give, and this is the future of India.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are at fundraising gala of Akshay Patra, and Akshay Patra is a foundation that provides meals to hundreds and thousands of, actually I would say millions of people every day here. And there are kids who are hungry and who are getting education. And to support that, we have a worldwide renowned actor and activist, Anupam Kher. Welcome, Anupam.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sachin.
So how are you feeling today?
I feel every day great. I don't choose days to feel good.
So tell me, how's your experience working with Akshay Patra? क्या चीज़ ने आपको attract किया?
At a very early stage, when Akshay Patra had only one kitchen, I was shooting for a film in Bangalore, and I was invited by one of the founder members of Akshay Patra to visit their kitchen, the first ever kitchen in Bangalore. And I went there along with Abhishek Bachchan and Mahima Chaudhary, and I saw the kind of work on a first-hand basis, and I was very happy to serve food to those children. And they're doing phenomenal work to be able to feed 1.76 children every day. 1 million. 1.8 million children every day is fantastic. And they do it out of compassion for them, not out of pity for them. And when Akshay Patra USA asked me to lend my support, and I thought it was very important, since I'm now working here for the last 1 year for the American series New Amsterdam. It's important to look at life from another point of view, not only from a point of view of just an actor. My life is beyond acting and cinema and other things, and it's important to talk about such causes.
Yeah. I was talking to one of the directors, and he mentioned, some of the kids, they will come to school only so that they can get the meal, and it's something,
Yeah, I think it's meal is an important issue, and I think it's important issue not only to fulfill your stomach, but also to sort of give you food so that you can do other things, so that you can participate in games, so that you can study. But food is an insight. Food is physical need to do that. Yeah. When children feel the other choice that such children have is that they can go on the streets to beg or to go to neighbors or something. And why not? I think it's very important to dignify these children, to give dignity to these children. And that's what Akshay Patra has done.
And like it's kind of a different concept. For U.S. children, probably they cannot understand the depth of this main idea. And would you like to say anything to the U.S.
Well, I think it is,
diaspora?
world is not just US. World is all over the place, and what the I'm not. We are a developing country now, so I don't want to sort of consider include India into the other countries. But there are children we need, whether it is Brazil, whether it's Rio de Janeiro, whether it is Africa, whether it is anywhere in any developing country, has a certain section of children which need nourishment, which need food. I see a lot of homeless people on the streets of USA.
Yeah.
We call them in India, we call them beggars, and Bhikhari over here, they call them homeless. United States always finds out a very interesting, dignified names for people who are underprivileged. But I think over here also, I celebrate my birthday with every time with an organization which is doing great work. This time I went to New York for the cancer place, and I saw a lot of charity going on there. Charity everybody needs. It doesn't need to be wherever there is even one hungry child. It's a shameful thing to happen. So I think we need to eradicate that.
You have been related to like very many causes and organizations. Tell us why we all should be part for some cause, and
To feel thankful to God that you are better off than those people. It's important to sort of feel that way. It is important. Life is not only about what you are doing. Life is also about what you are doing for life, what you are doing for people, what you are doing for society, what you are doing for old people's home, what you are doing for underprivileged children, people who are not as fortunate as you are. You don't have to do those things out of your guilt, but you have to do their things because you need to do that. It will make you feel good about yourself.
Now going to your acting career, is there any character you like the most or you learned from that character?
I learn everything from anything that I do in life. It is not necessarily that the character that I play. I learn while even talking to you, and there are one or two things I learn. You need to be open to learning, and every context in life, every person in life teaches you something or the other.
Anything else you would like to say to?
I'm happy to be here. I will request these people who are coming and collecting here or who are watching your show to donate with their full heart and also with their pockets for such amazing worthy causes.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. नमस्कार, मैं हूं अनुपम खेर और आप मुझे देख रहे हैं सितारे टीवी पर.
We have actress and supporter of Akshay Patra, Ashwani Bhave. So let's talk to her. Welcome, Ashwani.
नमस्ते.
नमस्ते. तो आप अपना एक्सपीरियंस बताएं हमें अक्षय पात्रा के बारे में. आप कैसे इसमें इन्वॉल्व हुई?
I've been involved for the last couple of years, and I think one is always looking out for organizations which are well run, which have noble cause, and it's
Transparent.
Yes, and I think Akshay Patra has
Comes
all
on
those.
top of
Yeah, absolutely, and there are people who work for Akshay Patra are so inspiring, so giving, and they are just transparent. So. I love to donate to Akshay Patra and love to support them in whichever way possible. And I'm especially thrilled that this year they have opened one in Pune. So I belong to Maharashtra.
Oh,
So it gives me
nice.
immense pleasure to be supporting these projects. They're opening very soon, one in Panvel, and one is already running in Thane. So and last year they opened in Nagpur.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's great.
Great growth. Great
Yeah.
growth here. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Yeah, welcome.
We have Vice Chairman of USA, Akshay Patra. So let's talk to him about how Akshay Patra was started here. He's going to take us back and give us more history of Akshay Patra. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm Vivi Jagdish. Akshay Patra founded about 18-20 years ago out of Bangalore, and based on needs of poor kids from school who were not getting meals. Some of the founders from ISKCON Temple out of Bangalore, they kind of found the opportunity to serve free midday meal because they wanted to make sure that no kid goes hungry because of going to school or whatever. And that was the beginning of the program. And many of the Infosys founders like Mohandas Pai, Narayan Murthy and all, they came forward and they supported in a big way to open up large kitchens and provide vehicles to transport the food that is cooked in these kitchens into many rural villages. So the model in which the Akshay Patra centralized kitchens actually work is typically a central kitchen would support about 100 to 150,000 children per kitchen. Wow. Right? So that's 1 lakh to 1,50,000 per kitchen. And they use these vehicles where the food gets transported in multiple containers. So depending on every school's capacity, that school gets labeled and appropriate amount of food gets delivered to that particular school. And the whole process of cooking actually starts around 4 a.m. Wow. And the food is cooked and done by 7:30 to 8 o'clock. And by 8 o'clock, all these vans are actually moving from the centralized kitchen to a radius of about 50 kilometers from that. So hundreds of these vehicles, they all leave. And typically what happens is in the South Indian kitchens, it's more rice-centric kind of meals. And in the North Indian kitchens, you have roti, dal, curry, and things like that. And every Saturday, there is a sweet.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
The kids love sweet the most. Okay, anything else you would like to say to the youth of the area?
Yeah, so Akshay Patra, ever since they started with 10, 15,000 children, today we're doing about 1.8, 1.85 million children every day giving fresh, healthy, and nutritious food, and given and delivered hot by the time the children actually eat. So what this leads to is children like I myself, I come from a village where when I was growing, there was no concept of midday meal. And many of these children used to be pulled out of the schools, right, for daily labor, agricultural work, and so on and so forth, without giving priority for education, right? So a lot of these people just remain in the villages or whatever, not being fully educated. I was fortunate because even though I came from the village, parents were very supportive and prioritized on the education. So that's what led to someone like me getting the education and then being here right now. So I think it's very important that every one of your viewers realize the importance of making sure that every child in India gets a fair opportunity to get that education. And for that, especially in the rural, it's very important to make sure that you provide at least one good meal to bring the child into the school so that the child gets the education.
So we have Sivaram. He's also a board member of US Akshay Patra. So we have a lot of support and a lot of activists today here. So let's talk to him about Akshay Patra. Welcome, Sivaram.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here.
Okay. So tell us about the main ideology behind Akshay Patra.
So Akshay Patra is one of those ideas which is very easy to explain. Education is the biggest transformative agent in any society. But a hungry child does not learn.
Cannot see it, yeah.
Simplest thing, you want to make sure we provide the conditions where a child learns. Meaning, first thing, make sure the child is fed. In many communities, this is the only food that the child gets, nutritional food that we get. So we believe in the scale of Akshay Patra to deliver food to children in India so that they can learn, they can transform the communities.
It's interesting that in the US, we probably can grasp that concept, a child getting only that meal while they are being educated, So how you explain it to American kids out here?
It's absolutely true, especially here in Silicon Valley. We take opportunities for granted. Yeah. Indians in Silicon Valley are the model minority. We have people running for the president, Indian diaspora. We have people who are governors of states. We have people who are nominated, ready to be nominated to the Supreme Court. We have Congress representatives, all from this community. We have people who are the captains of the industry. So that minority here has a view of this exceptional performing Indians. But there is another world, the world where many of us came from. I was in India till I was 22 years of age. The India that I came from is not the US that we are here. And that India needs help from the diaspora. That India requires that we give opportunities to the children, just like I got the opportunity to come here. First place to solve is that these children have food in their stomachs so that they can learn. We don't quite understand the scale of this till you actually go and visit in India. The small village unit where the schools are, kids come to the school really for the food. Without the food, the kids will not come to, the parents will not send the kids to the school. They would rather be working. This is the problem we are trying to solve. Right?
Thank you so much for bringing this out to us, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
We have Advani here, and he's a big supporter of Akshay Patra. So let's check with him how he became a supporter. Welcome, Anil.
Nice to be here. You know, I have been very passionate about social entrepreneurship. I started a nonprofit called India Community Center here, but I also wanted to do something in India and went to an event called Sandbox by the Deshpande Foundation many years ago and ended up chatting with Desh, and that's how I got involved. Education has been something close to our hearts, our family, and we believe in the transformational power of education to change people's lives for generations. So Akshay Patra just spoke to us, and the fact that something like $20 could convert a kid's life, give them education for years, and it wasn't just the $20, it's how the organization was being run, where the government with a government and NGO partnership, where the $20 would then be matched by the government. So a lot of very, very interesting things about it initially attracted me to it.